It's story time, it's story time, it's story time. Welcome back to the E.B. Rocket Show. Today I'm going to be talking about how I got laid off my very first job. It's something that I look back on, and in the moment I'm like, why was I stressing out so much? Anyway, so now we have to backtrack like 5 years. Whew, I'm aging myself. I was so adamant to get into like the oil and gas business at the time. I applied for a bunch of oil and gas related jobs, ended up getting one, making a good amount of money for a recent grad, and then oil prices started to drop. So as a result, my company started doing layoffs. This was 6 months in. I was so stressed. I had moved all the way to Oklahoma. Let's not get into that. I was living in company housing, and I had no idea what else I was gonna do. Every time that they would like call someone into the office, we're like, oh my God. And somehow I survived. I don't know why. I don't know how they chose to do layoffs, but I survived. I ended up going to my first training school in Dubai, living it up. Well, really Abu Dhabi, but still living it up in the Middle East. I came back to the States, and they had laid off my manager. I was like, hold on. I had no idea who my new manager was. So I'm here sitting at home, my mother's home, for like a month, just waiting. I'm like, I don't want to press too much, but at the same time, I want to press enough so it makes it seem like I care. Eventually, I'm able to get a hold of someone. He's like, okay, you know what? Come back down to Oklahoma. I'm working for a little bit, working with a few different crews. I'm going through the process to be transitioned from a trainee engineer to a full-time official engineer, The climate's still the same. The work is a little slower. People are kind of nervous. So about 10 months in, I get called into the office, and they're like, we want you to transfer to Canada. Canada? Why Canada? That's where there's a need. And I said, all right. Lesson number 1, always make sure you read the fine print. Even if it's a current company, they will try to play you if they can play you. I read the fine print, and it turns out my pay structure was going to change. I was no longer going to be paid in US dollars. I was going to be paid in Canadian dollars. And the Canadian dollar is only 70% of the US dollar at the time. And my salary is going to stay the same. So I'm asking, hey, why is this like that? Oh, well, the bonus structure is different here. You'll make more money, it'll balance out. That's not enough for me. I remember getting advice from someone who was about maybe 4 years older than me. He was like, yeah, you better take it. If you don't, they're gonna lay you off, blah, 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 blah. Really kind of stressing me out. Lesson number 2, don't always take advice from someone who is in a different career path or mindset than you. Because if you know that you have a plan B or C, or you know that deep down it's not something that you feel comfortable with, don't take that decision. Don't make that decision. Don't let someone pressure you into making you feel like you need an opportunity or you need to do what your company is telling you to do. Because at the end of the day, just like you're a number and you're replaceable to them, they're also replaceable to you. Which brings me to my lesson for number 3. You're just a number. So turns out someone who was also part of my team, she is Canadian and wanted to go back to Canada. So I go back to my boss. I'm like, hey, I have a perfect solution. I have no desire to travel to Canada because it's not Toronto. 7 hours north of Calgary, Canada. It's in the middle of nowhere. I don't want to be there, but I know somebody who does. You know what he said? It doesn't matter. They've already selected you, so you have to go. And I'm like, why you gotta send the only black girl up to Canada? I don't want to go. Don't want to go. So I had a decision to make. Accept this role or job, knowing that I didn't want to go up to that area. Also knowing that I actually didn't enjoy my job. I hated working outdoors. I was a field engineer and I disliked it. It wasn't something that I saw myself doing for 3, 4, 5 years. So I had already done a year. I was actually starting to look for jobs. So I decided, no, I am not going to go to Canada. Canada is going to come to me. No. And guess what happened? Nothing. At least initially. Another 2 months goes by. I'm at a wedding in Texas and I get a call. Hello. Hi. EB, how are you today? I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I'm good. I'm just wondering, could you please come into the office? It's very urgent. I'm in Texas right now at a wedding. What is it about? Well, I just need you to come into the office. I can't talk about it over the phone. Again, I'm in Texas. Can it wait till next week? No, it really cannot. Is it because I'm getting laid off? You know, I'm so sorry. I just, yeah, they couldn't find a spot for you. Okay, no problem. I'll come in. Click. I was so happy. By this point, I was so tired. Honestly, I don't even know how to wrap up my entire experience. There was so much uncertainty. I was basically living in a hotel room because I had been in company housing, and now they had no idea where they were gonna put me because I did not accept the Canadian job. I couldn't also get housing in Oklahoma because they were gonna move me. If I got housing, they'd have to cancel my housing and pay for it and then move me somewhere else. I was just done. I was tired and I was happy. I was like, you know what, just give me my little severance and let me be on my way. So now we're at a point where, yes, I got laid off a job that I disliked. And yes, I was happy in the moment, but I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like, what now? I was hoping for it, but I didn't have a plan. And so this is where it kind of relates to the current situation. You know, I kind of had an inkling that I might get laid off. A lot of people with this current situation, they had no idea, or maybe they kind of knew after COVID started hitting. I think the first step, and I would say, is obviously applying for unemployment. Make sure you get those benefits. I didn't apply because I think I had a little bit of a sense of pride, weirdly enough. And so I didn't apply for unemployment that technically I pay into. It's for me in situations like that. Obviously, I think putting your pride aside and applying for unemployment is such a huge relief. Obviously, if the unemployment office is overwhelmed, then it's kind of like, okay, what's the backup? I had been saving money. Not as much as I could have, but I was saving a good amount of my money. And I think that helped me be in a situation where I felt comfortable knowing that I could be without a job for a little bit. The next thing I would say is being okay and being comfortable with not living the way you were living previously. So, you know, you're living by yourself or you're living with a roommate and you're used to doing whatever it is you want to do. Being humble enough to say, like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna move back home with my parents if that's an option, or maybe potentially moving in with a friend if that's an option, or moving in with an older family member, older cousin, or whoever it is, because that puts you in a place where you can take your time a little bit. It worked out. So I ended up basically moving to Maryland, and that's another thing, is like, let me not preach. And it's good to be good. Treat people how you want to be treated, because it always comes around full circle. And so they were amazing. They did not charge me rent, even when I tried to give them money for rent, even when I tried to give them a gift for just accommodating, they would not take it. And that was so helpful, and that was so needed in the time, you know, my time of need. And now I'm in a space where when that happens at Food, I want to be able to do that for somebody else because someone did that for me. I'll be honest, it may not feel like that right now, but getting laid off my first job was a huge benefit. It literally changed. It was the catalyst to change how I think. It was a catalyst to change how I see the world. A catalyst to change how I view money and security and what security really means. Because ain't nothing in this life guaranteed. Nowadays, in our current society, working in a corporate setting can have just as much risk as entrepreneurship or freelance. It just depends. But I think for those who find a corporate job that they really like and enjoy, you're set. Just make sure you have a little extra or savings, and, you know, invest and do what you got to do so if things like this happen, you're okay. And then also gaining those new skills and whatnot so that you can stay competitive and on edge as trends change. But then on the flip side, if entrepreneurship or more flexibility is something that you're interested in, like myself, what I'm realizing is that the corporate setting is a gateway for me. And who knows, I may find a corporate job that I do really enjoy. So that's my 2 cents. I'm wishing you guys all the best. I hope that my personal story was a little entertaining. I swear, y'all, I've bounced around so much, it's not even funny. But here we are, and we still rise. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed story time. If so, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and you share it. Comment below. Let me know what your favorite parts of the story was. You know, let's engage.